Do you know where all the money goes? Just imagine an invoice for £120. Once you take the VAT off of that, that's only actually worth £100 to the veterinary practice. You have to put aside that £20 to pay your VAT later on. Next, we have to think about the cost of having a team. And a veterinary team is very expensive. There are a lot of people that work in a veterinary practice on rota. And on average, the cost of the teams, you really don't want it to be more than about 40% of income. But quite often I see in excess of that. But if we just stick with 40%, that means there's only £60 now left of that £120 that you actually invoiced. So that £60 has to then pay for drugs and consumables. And these sort of average out at around 30% plus. Now, 25 is where I try and get my practices to, 25 and below. And if you are running a veterinary practice, it may be a little higher than 30%. But on average, 30% is what will be spent on drugs and consumables, a very expensive and costly part of the business. Next, we got all the other stuff to do. We've got £30 left now of that £120 that was originally invoiced. And we have to pay for premises, and that includes rents and rates and utility bills for gas and electric and insurances, you name it, there's a lot. And then we've got admin, things like computers, computer software, all the things that go into actually running the practice. Then there is continual professional development costs. There's the cost of marketing. Now, I'm sure a lot of you don't have to spend an awful lot on marketing, but marketing covers a vast amount of things. It's all your social media, it's your branding, it's your, your printed literature for things like your pet health club, all those sort of things. And then there's the cost of finance. Now, this isn't loans, this is things like bank charges, the repayment of interest on loans, and interest and repayment of mortgages. And that sort of averages out, if you've got it under control, at around 18%. That leaves a whopping great £12 remaining of that £120 that you invoice. But that £12 has to then cover all sorts of other things: corporation tax, capital repayment, equipment, bonuses, and owner remuneration. We haven't paid them yet because they don't get paid in the staff's salaries. And return on investment for those people that have invested money to actually set up the practice. So you can see what all the expenses leave very, very little left. So now you know where all the money goes.